know. And after when they went away, I saw one of the girls recognize the mother on our side who came with us. She was by the gate and she saw the daughter and she fell under fire. And
she electrocuted herself.
Yeah, that's right. And then when they took them one night, they didn't take them. They took them one night out, not even during the day. Next day, they came. The not soldiers. I mean the people who came in to work. The Slovenes or Polish. They had like a wooden wagon, and they put in all the dead people. They worked on them a few days. It was awful to see. Like you saw the picture I have, like the Muslims. Like this, they looked, two people, one hold the feet, one hold the head, and just they dumped it on the wagon. And they made such, and I saw them because on the back of the barracks where I was, where the sink was, where I was, where the showers cross was that. So we saw the whole day, but they packing the dead people and they taken out, filled up a wagon, and then again they filled up a wagon, then they took them.
So you saw all the dead bodies being loaded onto the wagons.
That's right, that's right.
Tape number 4, December 5th, 1995, interview with Mrs. Irene Rosenbaum. Could you tell me what they gave you to eat in Auschwitz?
When we arrived, everybody got a piece of bread. That was for the day. One piece everybody got. Then they had cooked meal, a liquid soup. That soup was contained with fat, heavy fat, probably from pig fat, and they had like crushed leaves. But I remember, then I remind myself what they used the leaves when they picked, from our territory and they shipped it. They said they're making medicine. They made it, they took it there to Auschwitz to feed the people. They needed a lot. And it was very bad, that food. And then they gave us a piece of cheeses, but it smelled. They said that's good cheese, but it was rotten cheeses, boxes. And what else? Nothing else. That was the day. Yom Kippur and Tisha B'Av, we got the best meal because they knew that the people will fast. So we used to hide, and they used to come under the barracks to see if we had food. So then we decided we eat it up before they come to throw it away, because one tells the other that what they're doing, so we knew about it.
So what food did they give you on the fast days?
Like beans, like something. We never saw a potato, and.
You told me that you didn't want to eat the soup at first with the leaves. Could you tell me about that?
I couldn't eat them because I was a bad eater, and I had bread, satisfied me. Maybe my sister in the kitchen, Frida gave me something, and I couldn't eat the soup. It was so bad that 4 girls used to bring that can of. I said it that they spilled the soup when the Hungarian came in, yeah. And it was so bad, but over there by us was a girl from our city. She was, the grandfather was the richest man. They lived across the street to us. And she was raised, she was only one child. She was raised in very high society. And she was so bad to the people, even for around our town.
Was she in charge of the girls?
She was in charge. She was standing by the food. She gave out food, and she was watching inside. She, to help for the block of the camp, the people. She was wild.
What was her name?
Schreiber Medi. But I tell you, she was nice to us. She saw my sister, she's pregnant. She didn't say not one word. And she yelled at me, you little cats, if you don't, because I came always with the dish in my hand and I turned it over. I didn't need it. So she said, listen, one day I kill you because you will die like a dog here if you don't start to eat. You have to eat here. So Miriam yells at me, take it already. You don't have to eat it, but take it. So then I was afraid from her that she will beat me up. So I took it. And then little by little, I started to eat. I had to eat a little bit. That was, and like this was going on.
Could you tell me about when your sister Leah gave birth?
Oh, that's something. She started to be a little bit heavier, but like I said, she was carrying very small and she had a big dress. And the Blokhova sent her in, I2 from the 21 blocks to the children's block. They had children special, like 14-year-old, and they have grown-ups also. We remained there by her, and my sister was in the other block, barrack. Maybe she knew what she's doing, it looks like. One day she had at night already pain, and in the middle of the barrack was like an oven in the middle divided, Sometimes the Blokhova would stand up on that oven and talk to the people or yell to the people, what goes on. So they let her there, have pain. She was there and I was there. And my sister Frida from the kitchen came and they told her that one of the barracks has a midwife she should go call. She went to call her. She said, I can't. Every night they calling me. She said, I'm working in the kitchen. I will bring you food. She said, I can't eat anymore. So tired I am. She begged her. Finally she came. The Blokhova was from Slovensko. She had her room. All the Blokhovas had her rooms. And she had a help who was also from my city. And she helped. She passed away. Her name was Pearl, and she took her in the room, and I was there. My sister was there, and she gave birth in the room, middle of the night, and I was scared enough to have children. I heard what noise she made. And then they took her and the baby in Revere. Revere was, like I mentioned, they had like a little
emergency facilities.
Yeah. That night, she was there too, my sister, they took, and the baby. One night.
Was it a girl or a boy?
A boy, very nice big baby. And that night, she was there. A night and a day. Next night already, Mengele, towards night, Mengele came and he wanted to empty out that Revere. And my sister, Frida, who was in the kitchen, her Blokhova there, also Slovak girl, had a sister in the Revere. So she told her, you better go take out your sister because Mengele is coming soon. They knew already when he's coming. They give signals. So she went and they let her out because she told her, the sister told her she should go. She came, and next morning she already was standing with us, Ceylon Pal. And my Blokhova, I2, who was in 21 block, she was a Roof's, what's a Roof's daughter. She and another Slovak girl took a basket, a woven basket, and they had 4 children that night born. They were strapped with toilet paper. They didn't have what to put down. They just wrapped them around, and they put in the basket, and they started to walk towards the gate. They took them out. And I was happening, that was during the day. In the morning I was there, wanted to see the baby. And I said to her, where are you taking the children? I started to walk after. She said, listen, don't be so anxious to know where. You get out from here. I said, that's my sister's baby. She said, yes, it's good. And I started to walk. She said to the other one, look at here, this little one, she doesn't listen to me. I'll put down those children here in the street and I will give her a beating she will remember her whole life. I got scared because she knew how to hit, you know. I was scared already. So I let her go. I just watched how they took her out and finished. They took away the children. And my sister Leah remained with us by the sail pair. And we were still there because it took us a few months, 6 months to stay there. And then before we left, one of the Germans who had a aeroplane factory in Sitava, he needed workers. So he came to pick up during the day 500 girls. And that was towards the end already. The 500 girls was included from the Schreibstube, that means from the offices, the girls who worked, and you know, other girls too. And they counted 500 and they put them in one barrack. The 3 was emptied out, and they were there. That night, that's happened in the morning, and at night, the SS came in, and the block of us, they knew that they want to empty out. They didn't empty out the kitchen girls, they didn't empty out the office girls, who was, and not the block of us, you know, just the halflings like we were. You know, they called them halflings. And they came with dogs and lights, what shall I tell you? The whole lager was lit up, the back and front all over. And the dogs were barking. So many SS was there. It's not even funny because the people were panicking already. They knew already. They closed both doors in every barrack, and they were screaming, and they started just empty out one by one barrack.
Where were they taking the people?
I never knew them. If they took them to the crematorium, or they took them, some of them. I never met nobody who left that time. Nobody. Nobody. I really didn't meet nobody who was with me. Those people who they took before, like they came, you know, they needed 100 people, 200 people, those I met already afterwards, after the war. But those people, when they empty out, not one I know who came back. There was so much people, they couldn't even accumulate so much to crematorium because the Russian already were very close to them. So they rushed to do. And in our block where I was, that my sister gave birth, she came already to us, and we were all together in one bed. And I saw that in the back of it, the barrack was the girl who was related to us, and in front was the Blokova, the head. And I saw the girls, we had a few girls, at least 10, who were working, who came the same time where we came, but they were tough from the villages, tough girls who, you know, they were strong. They used to bring the food and they used to watch them and you know, they watched us. I saw them all running in the back, and I went to that girl and I asked her, what's going on, where they go? She said, don't ask too much, do whatever you want to do. And I saw they ran out, she let them out, and I went to the bed and I slept my aunt and my sister Miriam and Leah, and Malky, my cousin, the 5 of us, and they asked me, where are you going? I said, don't ask, come fast. Whatever we had in our hand, we were running. we came to the door, and I pushed her on the side. I saw she wants that we should go, and she let herself. She wouldn't let herself and nobody push away, because that was her responsibility. And we came out, and the whole thing was let out, and we didn't know where to go. The only thing we saw, those girls running ahead. We were 21, they went, and they told them where to go. And Barrack 3, where they picked 500 girls, you remember? And that was on the same side where we were. And they jumped from one barrack to the other. The SS shouldn't see them. The SS, and we did the same thing. We had to hide every barrack. When the SS went with the big lights, we saw already the lights, then we calmed down, and like this. And over there was girls also by the door, didn't let in. But we were more people. The girls, we catch on them, you know. And the girls pushed them away and went in the empty beds. Was a lot of empty beds because 1,000 people was placed there. And we were already there. And in the morning, the whole night was screaming. We couldn't even sleep that night. And early in the morning, who watched from my city, the girl, you know, who was the head of it, she said, "Again you are here?" Because we escaped a few times, back and forth, and she led us. And she said, "I'm not bothering with you, but some of the people she want to throw out, she recognized it's not the people, was it?" Anyway, she couldn't do nothing. The kitchen, the girls who worked in the kitchen was running around in the toilets in the bathroom crying, "Where are the family?" So one of the girls said, "Go on the black tree, your sisters are there." So like this, they find us, and they were very happy to see us. They thought they took us away, and they knew that they take away, who knows where we take us. After the main from the barracks, also a Jewish girl, who was the head of the rest of them, came, and she was a day before with the German man who picked the 500 girls. She helped him because he looked strong girls. And she looked at it, she held both hands in her head, and she said, "My goodness." She recognized Muslims, skinny ones, that he didn't pick those. He said, she looked at the watch, that a few more minutes, he is here to calm the people. What shall I do here? She said, "I don't bother with nobody." She started to count 500 people. She got it down, the rest getting back in the black. I don't know what was with them afterwards. So we remained like this, and that 500 people, that's what we are alive. And then we were like 2 days where the crematorium was. I don't know what, they couldn't decide to take us or not to take us. We were standing naked in the bathroom for hours. So finally came, a big train, and they put us in, and they took us to the factory. Over there, that's what, and the girl, my sister, and the rest of them who was in the kitchen working, and with us came from the Schreibstube, in the office where they worked also with us. My sisters remained there, but they took them all in a different lager, and then they went away to Bergen-Belsen. Bergen-Belsen, yeah. Over there they had typhus, they had hard time, but they were working in the kitchen there also. So it wasn't so bad, but they got sick, all of them.
So how long were you in Auschwitz?
6 months.
And then how long were you at Zittauer?
Also 6 months. We were a year, exactly a year. May 9, they bombed Zittauer, where we were, the factory. And that was the end of the war.
Could you tell, what was life like in Zittauer? What did you do there?
Maybe we got a little bit better food, but not much more. we had to go still when we saw the wagons, like my sister Miriam, she was working at night shift, and I was working during the day. She was working inside, make certain parts for the planes, and I was working with an engineer outside, with another girl. We made the tracks for the planes inside in the building. Just we had to make the tracks, engineer. We had to look, they should be straight and bring in iron. The iron was so cold already outside, winter. I didn't have any more shoes. I had wooden shoes. The hands stick to the iron, then we had to bring in. And my sister used to wake me up that a wagon potatoes came. I should go steal, because she wouldn't steal. Because she was so tall, they caught her. Wherever she went, they caught her. I was little, they didn't even notice me. I was skinny and little one. Anyway, so over there, we worked very hard, very hard. We used to go, the factory was on a hill, outskirt Citaba. We saw the city, from the hill, and we saw people were walking. Then the people told us that they empty out people and the Russians are coming closer. I don't know where they knew that. They always came rumor, and we could see a group of people walking. You see, like my brother Joseph, he tells me he walked also a lot. Dachau and all over, the Russian came, so they had to run further. And with us was working a Wehrmacht, not SS, the Wehrmachts, but the engineer, he was also Wehrmacht. He used, the ground used to be there, and he used to eat apple. So he peeled the apple he peeled it, he didn't eat it like this. And he put it down, and we was waiting, he should put it down, we should grab it and to eat. We used to go out, they had like, when the garbage they take out, it was, like a whole, piled up, and then they empty out. We used to dig on the pile to look for skin for the potatoes. That was the best part, the potatoes, the raw potatoes. I tell my grandchildren, yahi, they said. You could say it again, yahi. We didn't have too much food. We had from next city by us, like was a little, that was the border for Romania, Kiraj, they call it, and the Czech and Romania, the border. That village came also to us, to the ghetto, and then we came out. They used to come to us, a high school also, girls, because they didn't have high school. I met there 3 sisters, and one of them got crazy,
At Zittawa?
In Zittawa, yeah. So they put her in an empty room. They let her there, And sometimes the SS came, they opened the door, and they told her to dance. And she made herself, performing, and they were laughing. That's all. They had there a revere, they had doctors there from, between our girls who was doctors. I don't know what happened to my sister Miriam. One day she was sick, but the doctor called me, don't touch no food from your sister. She wasn't able to eat it. She knew that I will eat it from her. So she said, don't touch. So maybe she had, who knows what she had. But after she got better, and she came to us, and she was all right, that's all. But in Bergen-Belsen, my sister Frida and all of the cousins, they all had typhus. They all had typhus. That was another murder scene there. But it was very hard there in Citava also. And when they started to bomb the city, we were on the hill. The Germans ran away. They left us. All of a sudden, we noticed that nobody's there, and we went in the kitchen. Wherever we had food, we cooked potatoes, the pot with the peel. And matter of fact, I cooked maybe 20 or how much more, And I went up on the hill and let them bump. I was eating a whole night, the potatoes, and that was lucky that I fed myself with potatoes. Those people who was eating food, you know, like fat food, like the Russian came, they gave us very fat meat they had on the wagons, you know, they wanted to give us. And that, a lot of boys died. They had one camp with men. They were all Muslims. They were very weak. They like just stretched out after the war. Also, a lot of them. They couldn't even move. We went after the war. They said it's finished the war. They finished bombing. It's empty. And the Russians, we didn't know nothing. But we went to the city to bring.
Tell me about when the Russians liberated you. Tell me about that.
Okay. When they came in, we didn't see them yet. We just started to go to the villages, and they was very wild. They were drunk and wild, and we heard rumors that they don't behave. And one captain came to us, he said, girl, right away go back and don't move out from the camp, where are you? Stay there. And he had a wagon there with food, that, you know, who had take the food for the soldiers, they were the Russian. But he said to us, don't eat it. It's too fat for you. So we didn't touch, and we ran back, and I saw them. We went in one house. I just wanted to kill children. That was if I see, you know, but I didn't see not one child, because I couldn't resist what I saw with children, what they did. And then when we were going in a house, big houses were there, very big house, German house, upstairs, we heard the Russian yelling, you know, and with the guns. So we started to run, we got scared. And we ran, and my sister Miriam said, let's go, don't you dare go out anymore. I shouldn't go, and not nobody. So we heard afterwards rumors that they would court the girls, a lot of them. So we stayed there and till calmed down. Came a captain to us and didn't let nobody come to us. You know, the Russian, they were very, very not nice. They were not nice. They were so like wild. And then we didn't know what to do. You know, we started to walk. And they told us which way to walk, to go out from there. We went in houses, what shall I tell you? Whatever we saw, we broke. Dishes, anything. Didn't interest us, nothing. No, just food. Nothing. Jewelry, if I would see their gold, I wouldn't touch it. But wasn't, no value. We weren't interested, nothing whatsoever. Matter of fact, I find a pair of men's shoes. I tied it on my shoulder. My sister asked me, why are you schlepping there? I said, for my father.